At Viber Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Viber Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Viber Finance. We are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Adam Rambles about cryptocurrency on this beautiful, bloody, actually Christmassy Monday morning. What up, Erwin? Stop coughing, bro. You got to get a mask or something. You know, people are going to think you got the sniffles or something if you're coughing in public. Not good. Not good. But looking at the bubbles here, XDC winner of the day. Gotta love it. I'm going to be talking with Harley, one of my buddies who is a XDC warrior. I don't know what the community is called, Zinfin Army, not too sure. But he's got a couple projects on there. He has a crystal project. It's called XDC Crystals. And they're also working with, I think it's called Health DAO or Health Bank. He's working on an app that basically you make a fitness plan and a goal. And over the next 30 days, if you hit 90% of it, you get a bonus. If you hit 95%, you get higher. If you hit 100%, you get like a bonus and NFT. So it's a cool concept. I'm going to be having him on in the next couple weeks when we have some time. That should be a good little chat. Talk to him, see what he thinks about XDC. Because I know with the What Up Mobius, the guys from the Verse, Chris and Trent over there, they're really bullish on the whole ISO 222 standard, the whole list of coins that are, you know, tied to that. So I want to really kind of all work together and just see what we can do in helping to just spread the word with Pulse Chain and some of the smaller projects that some of our friends and community members are doing. So I think there's a need for that. Some like a team of consistent vetters of projects, because I feel like on Pulse right now, there's so many new projects that it's almost impossible for one person to go through and understand everything, even just know everything that's coming. So I think somebody or a team of people that can be like a go-to resource for vetting projects. All right, we've looked at all these projects. These are the ones we like. These are the ones we don't, and why. I know that was something we had discussed with them about doing. So much opportunity in this space and in this bear market. So I just encourage people to just build, to just do. If you thought about something, you know, just do it, go for it. You know, this is the time. You know, the downside right now is so much less than it was a year ago when all eyes were on crypto. You know, only the degens and the people who are staked and pretty much veterans are here now. You know, there's very, very few people are reaching out to us that are brand new to crypto. You know, I don't know if it's just the holiday time right now. People are tight on money, but, you know, to each their own. And there will be a time where this flips. You know, I just don't see all the bearishness lasting for another 6 months. You know, the news is starting. We've been covering it over the last couple of weeks, just how funny some of the news articles are. And this was one of the latest ones right here. Grayscale will explore returning up to 20% of investor capital if the SEC refuses its spot ETF. So this is pretty funny now. So Grayscale is basically pressuring the SEC, and they are one of the biggest firms in the country, the biggest investing countries, investing corporations out there. Grayscale, I think they have like $9 trillion in assets. And when you have that much money, you can put pressure on agencies. So I don't know if it's just coincidence now, because they are, oh, I didn't know Grayscale was owned by Digital Currency Group, because they are in the hole almost $1 billion for Gemini, from the Gemini debacle. So all of this is tied together. And I don't know if it's just timing, coincidence that Grayscale is now pretty much demanding an ETF come out, or they're going to pull the plug on their GBTC. And I think the premium is almost 50% right now. So I don't know why people are attracted to it. I mean, I get it. It's no risk, less risk, but that 50% discount, I don't know. It's got to be for a certain platform, for a certain type of fund, some kind of retirement funds, some kind of pension funds, stuff like that, where you need something that is not volatile. But I don't like this. I want to see Ethereum flip Bitcoin. I want to see decentralization actually happen and let real finance thrive outside of Swift, outside of the stuff we have going on right now. It's just so corrupt. We were looking at stuff last week talking about how Bitcoin was gonna be outperformed by gold in the next bull run, which to me is just hilarious. There's no way that's even possible. It's not even possible, with just the age of people getting into crypto, with everyone wants digital. Nobody wants gold anymore. And it's sad, but that's reality. And to think that crypto and NFTs and digital metaverse isn't the future, I mean, it's just almost ignorant to say at this point. And when people, make that argument, it's just not even worth the energy anymore. We know where this is all headed. We've been researching it for years now. And when CBDCs, which are on the doorstep, they are in Africa live, they're in the Bahamas live, they are in Australia live, and you're starting to see that even though they're going live and they're talking about them and putting them on this pedestal, it's a nightmare in all these countries. If you really, you read the headlines inside Nigeria's ambitious push of cashless society, the Naira CBDC, and then they're capping cash withdrawals in order to drive adoption of its CBDC. But will the people embrace the central bank's vision? Hell no, they won't. And they're already not doing it. It's so funny that if you just go down further into the article and you come here and read it, it says that everyone is trading Bitcoin now. This has basically created a demand for peer-to-peer Bitcoin transfers. So they wanted to issue in their CBDC, and what did it do? Create a demand for real Bitcoin. So it's really funny how these things work. And just because you see headlines like this, Nigeria limits cash withdrawals to $45 per day in CBDC. Well, guess what? That $45 a day, I mean, do you know how the amount of people that make that money is so slim? That would be like us, a headline coming out, Bank of America limits customer withdrawals to $10,000 per visit unless you call ahead. Something along those lines. This is nowhere near like going to our ATMs and pulling out $40 when you want $400. It's nothing like that. And I'm basically, they're saying here, the policy is too drastic and does not favor many of us. Limiting how much people can collect will affect commissions we earn every day. It's like the central bank Naira is taking food out of our mouths and killing our businesses. So that's what the people are saying. And what's interesting too is that I didn't even know it, but Nigeria, the average age is 18. So so you have a country that is super young and demographic wise, and they still don't want anything to do with this. Only 50.50.5% of the people in there have access to formal financial services. And they wanted to hit 70%, but they couldn't even do it. And the report also showed that Nigerians 18 to 25 were more likely than other adults to be financially excluded, an important consideration when the age is 18. So most of these kids are currently excluded from the banking system, and it's just such a mess when you see this. I don't see how this is going to work. These kids are going to have almost not animosity, but they see what's going on. It doesn't work, all the corruption, and then you have Bitcoin right next to it. So what are they going to use? And it's obvious, each country is in a different position. Each government is tyrannical in a different way. And I really think all these different, each country, certain cryptos will benefit them more. Bitcoin is great here, but it might not be great. I don't know how the internet is in Nigeria versus other countries. I think it's probably a little bit better there versus Sudan or wherever. So once you get to more of these remote places, everything completely changes. And I really think that this is a lot of just FUD, because this was another article here too. And Nigeria set to pass bill recognizing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And the law comes as the e-Naira has managed to obtain a 0.5% adoption rate, a little more than a year after its launch in October 2021. So that just shows you this thing has completely flopped. Less than 0.5% of people have adopted this. And I guarantee you those people were bribed. I shouldn't say guarantee it, but I would suspect those people were bribed, or there was some sort of benefit for them in doing it. So it was just funny here. When cryptocurrency was initially banned in Nigeria, the CBN discovered that most of these investors don't even use local accounts, so they're not within the jurisdiction of the CBN. And since they're not using local accounts, there's no way to track them. So they're already going around the system everywhere. The Nigerian government's efforts to crack down on crypto were arguably ineffective too, as adoption continued to increase following the ban in 2021. From January to August last year, Nigerians trailed only the United States in Bitcoin trading volume. And over the same periods, Nigerians were more likely to Google Bitcoin than citizens of any other country. So that's interesting, because the average age of that country is 18. So this is a super young country, and this is how the future of these generations are going to think. All the kids now grew up on phones, whereas I was the last generation. I didn't get my first cell phone until my senior year of high school. So I didn't grow up with a screen in my face. And all the kids now that did, I could see how they're already knowledgeable enough to get outside the system. They're already clearly knowledgeable enough to be trading Bitcoin if it's the second highest volume in the world. So this is the perfect, I think, example of when you try to force stuff on people, it just does not work. They went to Nigeria. The average age is 18 years old. So the kids know what this technology is, I would believe, for the most part. And they skirted around it. They went to other platforms, other countries, and refused to adopt it. So that just, to me, is going to be a signal or a catalyst for what's going to happen around the world in these other countries. Except, obviously, the more corrupt some of these countries are, I think they'll use them for a little while, but that's great to see, in my opinion, a 0.5% of people using it. You can't. I don't know what articles or what FUD you could spin up around that when nobody's using this stuff. I mean, you can't just lie to people. They know what's going on. And this was another article that pro crypto France to push for tighter regulations. Details inside. And France, right here, I was reading this article earlier, and some of the interesting parts were that the French's financial committee proposed an amendment to remove a provision that allows crypto exchanges to operate with a full license until 2026. The current regime keeps this possibility alive even after the MiCA becomes law in 2024. So that would be awesome to see. I really think that I'm seeing everything delayed as it is. Everything was supposed to be live in 20. We were supposed to get our Fed Now wallets in January of this year, and that's already a year behind, potentially 2 now. So if Europe is gonna usher this stuff in before the United States, it happens in Australia, then moves to Europe, then to the United States. And this is good news when you see them not being able to. MiCA is, I believe, part 2 is going to be voted on over the next 3-4 months. But just the fact that they can't get this stuff in quick enough, and they realize the devastating effects that they can have if they put the wrong legislation in. These countries don't want this technology going east. That's the last thing they want, is to Russia, China, the BRICS nations to be the ones controlling digital assets, cryptocurrency, and basically the reserve currency of the world. And it's really interesting with Russia, with the R, and China, the R5 currency that they're doing. And just with the amount of gold that all these countries are buying, it kind of makes you sit back and think, what are they doing with this amount of gold? And now Putin is selling grams of gold for a barrel of oil. And that was kind of interesting to me too, is why is he doing that? Are they trying to get rid of dollars? Or are they trying to stockpile gold? And when you see anonymous buyers of hundreds of tons of gold in the United States allegedly can't figure out who's buying it, that means to me they're covering something up, or they do not want that out there. And just looking at what Israel's doing here, I mean, that was kind of off topic, but just that R5 currency, something is going on there. Keep an eye out on Saudi Arabia, because once they start selling oil in something other than dollars, that's gonna be the start of the end of our reign of the dollar being the world reserve currency. I really think it's going to be the digital yuan or some kind of gold-backed digital currency that replaces it. I really do. Just the way things are going, the way the countries stockpiling gold, India, China, Russia, Brazil, and then you have Saudi Arabia joining them, and they are producing I believe, the most oil and selling the most oil to those countries. As soon as the dollar is removed out of there and they're now selling in native currencies, the demand for the dollar is going to just plummet. And that's when I believe crypto and Bitcoin is going to really thrive, because front running that right there, the markets trade 6 months in advance typically. So I don't know. I see with England and the rush to get out their digital currency and a potential revaluation of gold, because that can also, if these countries, I agree that to revalue gold and back the new CBDCs or something with it, it's another way to get rid of the trillions of dollars of debt. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I just can't stop thinking about the amount of gold that China and Russia are stockpiling. And the new R5 currency that they created, it's digital. And we know the yuan that they handed out to everyone at the Olympics is running flawlessly. And with the what is it, the belt and tie initiative that China did, and they spending $1 trillion building infrastructure around countries around the Middle East and around almost the world. They are in turn, they built that infrastructure in return for these countries having to use the digital yuan as the currency. So now you have all these countries with infrastructure in place and transacting in the digital yuan. They could just say, look, we have the infrastructure in place to run this R5 currency or this new gold backed currency between our nations. Let's launch it on the network, this network the yuan's running on. Or if that doesn't happen, I think Russia and China, they all have a network that is interoperable that they can trade on, because the whole point of this R5 currency is to circumvent SWIFT. And now you have Saudi Arabia jumping on board saying, all right, no more petrodollar. Now you're circumventing SWIFT with what, 30-40% of the world's supply of oil that was in, being traded in dollars. So what's the effect of that? And that to me is going to be the end of the dollar, and to where it really starts, the DXY drops down to 70-ish. But we'll see. And this was just an interesting article up here that Israel is able to seize crypto and claiming terrorism. So they've identified and blacklisted 150 wallets allegedly associated with funding bad people. So it's also ironic that they seized $33,000 too from the wallets that had funneled cryptos into the bad guys. And they also seized $750,000 in December 2021. So, just basically, I don't know what the point of this article is, but just to let you know that the role of crypto in terror financing was rather limited. But if you do it, they'll get you. So I don't know if the point of this is just to let you know that, we can take it. And this is, it's not like cash. I don't know, but it was just interesting to see this article out here. There's a reason for everything. And then also the SEC approving Wisdom Tree's blockchain enabled funds. So while they're turning down ETFs around the world, they gave a nod to these digital funds, which provide exposure to a variety of asset classes, including equities, commodities, and treasuries. But the thing is, they will not directly invest in blockchain assets or cryptos. Instead, invest in fixed income securities or equity securities. So this is such, garbage. Blockchain enabled finance has the potential to improve investor experience through enhanced liquidity. But all they're going to do is sell you bonds that are on the blockchain, or sell you this equity on the blockchain. Wisdom Tree offers products that track the crypto market. It launched 3 crypto exchanged ETPs backed by Solana, Cardano, and Polkadot. So how are how are these doing? If they launched a year ago, they're all destroyed. Solana is down a ton. I think Solana will be fine in the long run. This is just a giant beta run right now. The amount of development going on there, maybe it gets, if that FUD was true where it becomes a side chain on Cardano, great. But I think Solana will do Ethereum, this past bull run, Ethereum type numbers. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but this FUD here, or this article, is interesting because they're making it appear like the SEC is doing all this stuff for crypto, for blockchain, when in essence all they're doing is allowing these funds to be put on the blockchain. So there's nothing really to it. And then the last article from a couple days ago is U.S. lawmakers move to delay key legislation on tax crypto. And again, this was supposed to happen in January 2023, and they're now looking to push it back another year. This stuff takes time. Technology takes time. And I don't know if this FTX debacle was supposed to happen the way it did, if it was supposed to come to light when it did. But Binance now becoming such a big player, I don't think there's time. I just saw that Voyager or Binance is looking to acquire Voyager. And if they become that behemoth outside the United States with Gemini down, we have Kraken. That's really it. And I don't want to see all that power be given to one exchange in Binance. I really hope that Gemini with the Genesis loan can get that back and keep their earn program going. We need competition out there. I mean, centralization, we all know that in Hex, centralization is the whole point of, or the whole reason FTX went down. It's the whole reason for corruption. It's the whole reason. It's always human greed, human error, human problems. The code crypto was never the issue. And people are starting to see that now. But this is good to see right here when you have section 80603 is poorly drafted. As such, it could be wrongly interpreted as expanding the definition of a broker beyond custodial digit asset intermediaries. Remember, that was such a big deal earlier this year when they were saying that anybody who takes crypto as a transaction or anyone that receives crypto is basically a broker. And people were really starting to panic. And I'm glad to see that there's at least some congressmen, some senators that have a grasp on what crypto is, because the disconnect when the guy who is running the bankruptcy, I forget his name, but he did the Enron one too. And when you saw those Congress people asking him questions and making their comments, they had no clue what was going on. And you had guys making fun of crypto. Should we call them, make crypto cons, and basically just making a joke out of this. And you have two senators that are super serious, that know what's going on. So it's just crazy just to see the disconnect. And now I'm starting to see, a lot of shift being blamed on, well, there's the new party coming in. The new party's coming in, so there's nothing we can do. And then also on the flip side, the politicians that are coming in saying, well, time out. Everything that you guys have done, put it on hold. We got to relook at all this. So no matter what, it's going to get delayed. And that's a good thing. It gives us time to all kind of come back to the table, recoup, and get some laws that are fair, that make sense. And what was it? Appreciate the Treasury Department affirming that crypto miners, stakers, and those who sell hardware and software for wallets are not subject to tax reporting obligations. So that's huge for us Hexicans, and stakers. If this had gone bad and FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried got his bit license approved, we would be screwed. As stakers, we would be brokers. And that would have, it could have went so south, but it didn't. And now anything over $10,000, I believe, is just like with cash. It needs to be reported. And I think just for the next kind of 6 to 12 months, it's going to just be a sit back and kind of watch and see how these things unfold. There's no laws in place, and without actual laws defining what these things are, it can't grow. It handcuffs everybody. It handcuffs the money that wants to come in to fund innovation. It handcuffs, people that have businesses ready to go. They're hesitant to do it. So it's just a good thing for everybody if there's just just level playing field. Everyone knows what it is. And from there, I think we thrive. And that's going to be at least 6 months from now, I think. But it could be longer. There could be black swan events. You never know how this could get ugly with the shift of power, especially if Trump tries to run again. I mean, who knows? If Kanye runs, things could get really ugly, and they will use this stuff. It's already proven that they do not care about the retail investor. We are the last ones to get any money back from any of these bankruptcies. So the fact that you corporations are for creditors, they're all getting money back before the people that actually put money into the site so it could operate and run these scams. But it's unfortunate. It's like that, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see how we're doing. Our portfolio here with that Eagle and myself we put $1,000 into it last week, I believe on Friday. And yeah, we are down $50, $55 on this right here. We just on the spot kind of just degen portfolio, $1,000 in. And yeah, XTC looks like it's the big winner of the group. And pretty much everything else down a little bit, but it's tough right now. I mean, the bear market, you can't expect green days. When they come, they're nice, but this is just the time to DCA, find the cryptos that you like, do some research, find maybe some gaming coins, some cloud storage coins, stuff like that for the next bull run could be something that is utility driven. I really do think that if your coin does not have if your project coin does not have utility or a fundamental use case, it will not be around in the next bull run. Things are really going to change, and I can't wait to see things like XDC once the Ripple lawsuit is settled. Once Pulse Chain is launched, just how exciting the space is going to be. And once things begin to turn and the floodgates open, man, this last bull run is going to be nothing. It's going to be a blip on the radar compared to what's to come. I really do think we're going to about $10 trillion this next run up. And that's about 10, I mean, where are we at now? 800 billion. So about 12x from here. That would be amazing. But again, that's hopium. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a person on YouTube that is staring at bubbles with Christmas hats on them. So don't do anything I say. In fact, you might want to do the opposite. Call me Jim Cramer. But on that note, I'm out of here. Just wanted to have a little Monday morning, some news about Grayscale FUD the SEC that they're going to pull. They're going to pull the Bitcoin trust. Nigeria, it's a disaster with CBDCs, 0.5% adoption rate. Crypto, they're a mess. They're pushing back the MiCA laws. The MiCA is coming law in 2024, but they're going to push that back a couple years. So operating without a full license, you'll be able to do that for another 3 full years, it looks like, which is great. And then the FUD out of Israel that they are able to steal anything out of your wallets if you're a bad boy. And then the SEC is also approving blockchain funds, which is basically short-term basically short-term loans, short-term equities bonds, T-bills, stuff like that on the blockchain. So this is this new technology, which is just old garbage put in a new place and with a new name on it. And also incoming lawmakers, the Republicans basically are blaming the disaster that's going on right now for their inability to do anything. So they're going to have to just wait and let this play out and make some sound decisions, once the time is right at the end of 2023. But the best thing that came out of this, the whole broker thing, earlier this year, what we were being told that is if you were sent cryptocurrency, you're a broker, you're going to have to report everything. And sure enough, now it's December and all of that is gone, affirming that miners, stakers, and those who sell hardware or software for wallets are not subject to tax reporting obligations. This only applies to brokers. So the future is bright. Don't fall for the FUD. You're going to see this constantly. And do the opposite of what Jim Cramer's telling you to do on CNBC. With the narratives on the mainstream media are to get you wrecked. I have not seen anything in crypto from the research I've done. I have not seen really any article that is insightful telling you about a new project that is coming out down the line. Everything is always 2 weeks late, a little bit slighted, a little bit jaded, and it's very hard to find honest people in this space. So if you do find people that you can trust that are honest, stick to them and gravitate to them because it is not easy to find. And once you have those people, it's a great feeling. You can all put your brains together, run ideas by each other. Why did this happen? Why would, with Hex, we're always so critical about Richard Hart. Why was he on Paul Barron Network with such a disconnect from him? How do you have a 5-second delay, not even know about it? Where are you in like a bathroom stall? Where are you sitting right now? We're in a hallway. Like it was just so awkward. But is that calculated? I don't know. And just having people that you can trust, that you don't have to worry, are they gonna come back and talk behind my back? Do they think I'm crazy? It's so nice. And I'm finding that on Twitter Spaces a lot now, that there's not daily, but almost every other day. Oh yeah, daily groups in there that are very welcoming, very nice, will listen to you and not just shut you up, or once you start talking, just mute you or kick you out, like this Mario Newfeller, whatever his name is. I can't even listen to his chats for more than 5 minutes. Like these guys are like such egotistical maniacs. It's bad. So if you can find that small community, find people you trust, stick with them. And I promise you, there's someone out there who thinks just like you do, who's going down the same rabbit holes you have. And, you will come out stronger for it. This whole world is an inversion. And if something just doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, doesn't sound right to you, it probably isn't. When your gut tells you something, there's a reason for that. We've been so desensitized to feeling our own emotions, and to be sad is a disease now, or depression, it's a mental illness. It's insanity. So stay strong, stay positive. There's always positive, good people in this space. If you don't know where they are, reach out. We'll point you in the right direction. Facing Reality in here is a legend. Mobius in here all the time, supporting people. Brizology, awesome guy. There's just so many people. Pulsargeist in the chat. CZ, JZ. I can go on and on forever. Hex, Hexray, Rags. So many cool, awesome people. Tin Top, Deplorable Me. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Appreciate it. So this space is awesome, and it's on you to seek that out. And if you're having a hard time, reach out to someone that knows where not the alpha, but the positivity is. The alpha is great, but without a positive word, without a solution, without a plan to back it up, it's just hopium. But that's all I got for today. We will be back tomorrow morning for another episode. Maybe Facing Reality would like to join, get someone else on here, so it's not me just rambling. But we will see you on the next one. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. See ya.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.